Well, we're back to working on the Jeep today, and today's project is going to be focusing on safety, so we're going to do seat belts. So kind of put this one off for a little while too long, just because, one of those things you don't really care about till you need, but I figure since I got them and they've been sitting here, I better get this project done. So should be relatively easy. I already folded the windshield up and everything, which allows me to pull this seat. So do that, and that gives me plenty of room to access this side. So I've already got a bolt hole here to use. And for the other side, I'm gonna drill both right into here, and I'll bolt it through. And so I think that should give me a nice and strong contact to do that. I have nice thick bolts and big fender washers to help hold everything on the back side, keep them from pulling through in a hard pulling situation. And so it should be pretty easy. The new one's a little cheesy looking, but they'll do the job. They just look like generic seat belts. And but they were cheap. I mean, what do you expect? So yeah, I'll just mark those ends, stack two side by side to make sure that I have proper clearance to fit both. And so to get this done, all I really got to do is unbolt the outer belts, and there's no inside seat belts I got to deal with here. Those are long gone apparently. And once those are removed, I'll bolt in the button side is going to go on the outside, I've decided. And I'll put the clipping inside on the inside. Seemed like that fitment wise, that's what will work best, but I guess time will tell. And so once those are drilled, I'll do the final adjustments and make sure everything looks good. So I'll go ahead and get unbolting and start drilling. Sometimes you got to remember you got bigger tools and to use that instead of fooling around. So now I just got to figure out how to fit this thing in there. Well, the nut on the other end has unfortunately rounded itself off, it appears, because I can no longer seem to get a wrench around it effectively. Maybe I'll get lucky and can use a set of bolt cutters to snip these. But otherwise I'll have to get my grinder out, I think. Yeah, there's no way. That's unfortunate. It's typical, but unfortunate. Well, after cutting it out, I was able to finally remove that. That was much harder than it needed to be, but it's usually how things go, especially when they're old. So, you can see, I cut this out on the back side as well. I'll reuse that hole for the seatbelt. So now that that side's done, I'll go ahead and knock out the other. For as difficult as that was, I don't think I'm going to bother filming it, just because that took me like a solid 20 minutes, which was ridiculous. So I'll get that side done and catch up with you afterwards. Well, this side was in much better shape apparently, because it took no time. So that one is complete, and so is the other side. So that just leaves cutting 2 holes in the middle. So I'm gonna go ahead and I think for this job I'll use a stepper bit. That'll be my best bet for going through that. This should be decently thick right here, it feels like. So it should be a good thing to tie it to, and I'll have plenty of room for the fender washers, I believe. I want to make sure that when I do this, 2 things. I have the seatbelt oriented the direction I want. So in this case, I want it this way. And I also want to make sure that it sits below this edge. So that way I don't have to worry about it hitting anything if I have stuff in the back or things like that. Just keep it from getting bent, things from getting caught up on it. And so I'm gonna do it pretty crude. I think I'll just use a marker, put it in the hole, and yeah, use the stepper bit from there. So now I'll use this marker to mark around the hole. That'll hopefully give me my best bet at driving it in the center. So once again, I'll make sure that the top of the bracket is below that lip. Go around a couple times and that should be good. And so now I'll take my drill and try to drive that down the center the best I can. So now that I got that hole, I'll make sure my bolts fit for one. Oh, gotta go one more size bigger. Next, I'm gonna double check placement of this. Yep, it's right where I wanted it. Should grant me enough room to still mount this one next to it. Yep. So I got it exactly where I want it. And so now I can crawl underneath and bolt it up. So I'm not going to bother filming that because that's going to probably end up being a bit of a pain. So I will catch up with you afterwards. With that, this side has been fully installed. Nice and tight. Shouldn't have any issues there. It's the right way. It's definitely a hard job to do with just one person because I had to just basically wedge a wrench up here and go underneath and tighten it. But as you can see, I got it to work. So now I will install this side onto that hole, and the passenger side seat belt should be complete. Okay, it's now part of the Jeep. So with that, I should be able to have a working seatbelt. So let's go ahead and confirm that's the case. Get this out of the way. Make sure that's out of the way. Bring our Seat back down. As you can see, here's our belt. As you can see, here's our belt for the outside, and our inside belt. And just like that, we have seat belts. So there's an adjuster in here if you want to pull it super tight. Yeah, so I guess I'll probably just leave it like that for now. And yeah, call the passenger side done. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the work it takes off camera for the driver's side and catch up with you afterwards. The seat belt is now in on the driver's side as well. This one nice and tight, part of the body. I'll walk over here. You can see that's installed. And so with about an hour of work, just made my Jeep a heck of a lot safer. Now going along and I flip it, I'll at least, you know, be held to the seat, and the roll bar will hopefully do something. You know, it helps keep passengers from falling out, because frankly there really isn't much to grab on the passenger side. And so all around, a really good upgrade in my eyes. So now that that's complete, I'll catch you on the next project. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.